All right, welcome to the latest Libertas video. Today we are continuing our series on creating the Alexios and Kassandra gauntlets from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Of course, in the last video, we went through my whole process of what I do personally to kind of get all of these ideas wrapped up in my head and how I want to pursue creating them in the material. So we've done that with the Bayek gauntlets in the past, and of course, we're doing that with these new gauntlets from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So today we're going to be using a ruler, a pen, a pair of scissors, and some 2mm craft foam. So nothing too crazy. I'm also going to be using my phone as reference to look at that cosplay reference guide that Ubisoft has released. Nevertheless, this 2mm foam can be found at any hobby store. I got it at Hobby Lobby, but I'm sure you can find it at any of your local hobby stores. But if you're not feeling like leaving the house, I'll put a link in the description below where you can buy it on Amazon and probably get it 2-day primed right to your house. So that's gonna do it. We're gonna jump right into this and I will check back in here at the end. All right, so here I am using the pictures on my phone as a reference. I'm looking at the scale on Alexios's arm, measuring that to my own, and then using that to draw out the specific lines and designs. Now this is the main plate for the left gauntlet that I am working on right now, drawing out everything as best as I can to the shape that I think it needs to be. So I cut it out, tested on my arm to make sure the scaling is correct, and then I use that as scaling for the next main ornamental plate that is on the left gauntlet. So I draw out the shape once again as best as I can from what I see on the reference guide, and then cut it out and place it on the gauntlet for scaling, see if it works as it curves. Now I'm going to use that main ornamental plate as scaling for the next 3 plates. Now they're a very similar design, slightly different and more swoopy shape, but I cut that out and place it on my arm once again, testing scale. Now I'm going to use that secondary plate, even though it's the exact same size and shape. I'm cutting them all out once again just to make sure that as I put them on my arm, they are the proper scale. So once I'm done with that, I move on to the right gauntlet. And here I'm once again taking a look at the pictures and drawing out the scale and using this to make the main plate for the right gauntlet. Now this is going to be a one-piece design that I'm doing, and so cut that out, test the scale once again, and then use that as my scaling reference for the top ornamental plate on the right gauntlet. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to cut it out once more and then test it on my arm just to make sure the curvature works as it bends around my arm. And that's basically it. All right, and we are back and we have completed the templates. And I hope you saw from this entire process that it didn't take all that long. It took about an hour of my time, and it wasn't all that difficult. It's basically just looking at the cosplay reference guide, comparing the scale on Alexios's arm versus mine, measuring, and then drawing out the marks onto the foam. Cut it out and tested it. So that was the whole process. Didn't take a lot of time, so let's just take a quick look. As you can tell, I only completed about half of the templates. That is done specifically for 2 reasons. One, to save me a little bit of time, but also it will help me make things a little more symmetrical. And the reason that it will do that is the whole purpose is to take a picture of it while it's lying on top of my cutting mat, which has a ruler on it that shows off the scale. So what that will allow me to do is then take it into Adobe Illustrator, draw it out or trace the lines, clean up those lines, because there's a lot of marks on here that were used for my reference. We can clean all those things up, really make some nice templates. And then what I can do is I can take this left side, just create this one shape, reflect it over, and then combine them, and then I have this beautiful simple shape that now I can print. So that's really exciting. The other benefit of this as well is that I can adjust scale. So let's go right back down there. We have this main piece right here, which I'm a little concerned we don't have enough material for. It looks fine right now. When I tested it on my arm, it looks okay, but it's going to have to bevel over, it's going to bevel up, it's going to flip up like this as well. And I'm just a little concerned that we might not have enough material. So once it's vectorized though, what I can do is just go into Illustrator again and say there's not enough, bump it up 10%, reprint it. boom, I have another template that all I have to do is clip out, lay on top of my final foam, and work with that. And saves me a whole lot of time instead of having to create an entirely new foam template. So that's really exciting. Of course, the right gauntlet wasn't any difficulty at all either. It's just 2 pieces. There's going to be some bevel marks that we can print out. And also, one of the cool things is once I have all this stuff scale-wise, I can use the vector art. I can create a simple base eagle and snake design, and then the snakes for the left and the right side. That will make it a lot easier. I'll just print it off then and overlay them onto the final foam. And that will really be the next process in this whole phase. Once I've vectorized everything and printed it off, we'll be able to lay those templates right onto the final foam that we're going to be working on. So we're just cruising right along in this project, a little bit quicker than the leather, and hopefully, because it's not like the Bio Gauntlet and not being made in leather and that we're doing it in foam, hopefully a lot more people are able to follow along if they want to. This is a lot more accessible than doing the leather. Not that there's anything against leather, I love working with it, but hopefully you can see that this is a lot cheaper, a lot more accessible. So if you want to create a costume like this, I'm hoping that you're seeing that it's not incredibly difficult. You can do it. It's not going to take you a ton of time. It won't cost you a lot of money to do it in this type of foam. So that's really exciting. I hope this is encouraging. I hope this is inspiring, and I hope that this is somewhat entertaining as we continue along. But that's going to do it for this quick video on the templates of the Alexios and Kassandra gauntlets from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you on the next Libertas video.